Welcome to What Are You Sporting About podcast, a podcast about business, employment, sports, and entertainment to help educate, support, and guide you to your next level. Here's your host, attorney Sivonnia DeBarros.
Hello, everybody. I am Sivonnia DeBarros, the protector of athletes, also the founder and principal attorney of the S.L. DeBarros Law Firm, and the creator of this podcast, What Are You Sporting About? And Athletes Making Moves. I have an exciting announcement that I'm going to share with you throughout this live. But first, I want to invite you in to discuss something that most of us, or some of us, probably have mastered, and something that a lot of us are still struggling to work on, and that is accountability. So today we will be discussing the power of accountability and how it can help us to achieve and succeed in our lives in multiple ways. All right. So what I want to do is give you an invitation, invite you into my class, the Athletes Making Moves course, where we help entrepreneurs and athletes and business owners. We really want to help you to remove those limiting mindsets around your self-identity, around what it takes to be successful, but also give you the tools and the map so that you can create a business that you love, a brand that's respected, things that create and will create a substantial longevity in your future. Okay, so that's what Athletes Making Moves course is all about. Are you guys ready to dive in? Good morning. So, listen, a lot of you already know, and I feel like I'm a broken record because I keep repeating this, but I'm living in Lisbon, Portugal, not Lisbon in somewhere in the city in the United States. I'm in Portugal, been here since April. Okay. That was something that I decided to do actually quite a while ago. I had already visited this amazing country multiple times, and I said, I really want to go and live there a lot longer. But it took years for me to really get to the place where I'm like, okay, this is the time to go. So this is where I am right now. Okay. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because it links back to accountability. I'm going to share some things with you guys throughout this broadcast. I want you to share whatever your thoughts are, whatever comments you may have. If you are watching this live or listening to this live at a later time, still joining into the conversation, and let me know what comes up for you, because the way that we all grow is to make sure that we are sharing some of the things that we're struggling with. All right. So as I've been in Portugal and away from my normal timeline, and having all of the things that make life easier for me, I've had some issues with accountability. All right. I've had some issues with accountability. And when I'm saying accountability, I'm talking about just with myself, keeping myself accountable, because I'm tired. Can we be real right now? Right? How many times does life get us into a situation where we're like, oh, I know I said I want to do this, but I don't know if I can, or I'm just too exhausted right now. Or there are other things that we prioritize because maybe somewhere in our minds, it could be that you're tired, but maybe it's also the fact that you might be afraid of it. Or you might have adopted somebody else's limiting beliefs that it's a pipe dream. There's no way you could do that. All right. We have to be accountable to ourselves, like even when there's no one there. When there's no one looking at what you're doing, you have to be accountable to yourself, because, and here's a saying, like, what goes on in the dark comes to the light. There was recently a athlete who ended up killing himself for, I want to say he was driving probably too sporadically. It was super late at night. But here's the question. Was he being accountable to himself? Did he know that by making that decision, this is a possibility that could have happened to him? And ultimately that did. It's so sad because it just recently happened, in the name of the athlete. I'm forgetting it right now. But how many things have you said you wanted to do or accomplish? And how many of those things have you actually accomplished, either by yourself, by setting certain steps, or by having someone else to help you to be accountable in those areas? So I want you to really, really, really think about that. Um, so, one of my favorite stats on accountability is about when we set a goal for ourselves and we really hold our own selves accountable, we increase our chances of succeeding that goal by 65%. But when we have someone who holds us accountable and we make sure that we create that commitment to that other person, that okay, we're going to have this meeting, I'm going to show up to this meeting, I'm going to do whatever steps that you tell me to do, then it creates our chances of success by 95%. That's one of my favorite stats, because it shows that automatically when we make the decision to be accountable to ourselves, we put ourselves in a better position to be successful in life, to actually achieve a goal. So what is accountability? Accountability is your willingness, your vulnerability, the openness of you to be seen as you set certain goals, as you fail at them, as you achieve them, as you reset them. Um, it allows you to really, really be seen, but to also get the support that you need to continue making yourself accountable along the way to success. All right. So here are some other things that I want to share with you, because I thought that this was pretty cool. We don't always think about just the smallest of things that we do, or that we say we're going to do, and what kind of impact it may have on our long-term success. So I found this article by AFCPE.org, and there are a group of contributors who are talking about accountability and how it shapes our futures, or how it can shape our future. All right. So check this out, guys. So when you have an idea or a goal, there's a 10% chance that you're likely to complete the goal. Once you consciously decide that you're going to move forward with that goal, now your chances of succeeding goes up to 25%. When you actually decide that you will do it, or when you will do it, your chances increase again another 20% to 40%. When you actively start putting yourself in the space of planning out your goal, so I always talk about planning legacies, right? Because we can always do this stuff. Like I can record this podcast with you every week, but if I don't do anything more than this to plan out how I want my life to look, how I want my child's future to look, even when I'm gone, I may not be able to succeed in creating the legacy that I want to leave, right? So when we plan, we actively are moving and working, planning how we want to do it. It increases our chances of success at 50%. Then if we commit to someone that you will do it, so you're telling like, hey, look, I got this thing and I'm about to do this, you increase your chances to 65%. When you have a specific accountability appointment with someone, so just like I said to you on one of my favorite stats, right? You go and you check in, you go and you make sure that, hey, I'm checking off this box, I'm doing whatever it takes because this is important to me and I got to get this done. Now your chances of success skyrockets to 95%. So more than half of this study is talking about you, all the things that you're deciding to do with yourself. First, you got the idea. How many people go and put the idea on the shelf, right? You guys probably have heard me talk about one of Les Brown's favorite quotes, is that there's so many dreams and gifts lying in the graveyard because people just, they were too afraid to move forward. So their chances of succeeding at that point was only 10%, because they did nothing else. They didn't hold themselves accountable. So when we start looking at, okay, we're going to plan to do this, now we're going to tell somebody that we're going to do it, because now it puts you out on Front Street. Now you've told the world that, hey, I'm about this. I'm about to do this thing. It increases your chance. You go and you start planning on or deciding, okay, I'm going to set this timeline or this deadline. When I wrote my first book for athletes, What Are You Sporting About? I had to make myself figure out, okay, when am I going to launch this? Because by the time I launch this, I know that I have to have the full draft done. It needs to be edited. It needs to be reviewed. I need to have my formatting and all of this other stuff done before I can even release it to the public, right? So when you set a deadline, it forces you to act. It forces you to move. And having that coupled with the fact that you've spoken it and you told it to the world, we all have this little thing where we don't want to look like liars, right? Or we don't even want to look like failures. So it increases that chance of success. And now when you start planning and you're moving, your chances keep going up and up and up and up. It reminds me of my college days. And I didn't even know I was doing this, but I always knew that being an attorney was an extreme goal of mine. I've never seen attorneys before. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know how their personalities were. I didn't know anything about the, traditional attorney. But I will go into my advisor's office every semester with my list, because, school will give you a sheet of paper about the core classes that you needed to take, what your electives are, and all kind of stuff. I would literally every term sit down and plan out, what do I need to do to help me get to that space of sitting and taking that entrance law school exam so that I can get into law school, right? But before I can do that, I got to have a bachelor's degree. Before I can get that bachelor's degree, I need to know what I'm getting into. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what kind of classes I need to take based on my interest, based on the major that I have, right? So I told you that there was something that I want to tell you guys today, and I'm super excited about it. And this is going to keep me accountable to you. All right. Before I go there, I want you to take everything that I've said, and I want you to kind of take an accounting on your own life, on your own goals. What are the things that I've said that I wanted to do, but have just set on the shelf? Right? Because sometimes we have to go back and reignite that fire underneath us so that our accountability grows, and then our chances of succeeding, whatever that goal is, it also increases. It catches fire, and it keeps increasing, and you start to build up that momentum to achieve all of the things that you set out to achieve in the first place. So go and look, what are the things that you set on the shelf that you said you were going to do, and why haven't you done them? What can you do now at this point to dust them off and start to create action around those goals so that you can see success on them? All right. Ready for the surprise? Dun, 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 dun. I wish I had some drums or something, guys. All right. So my sister brand, Athletes Making Moves, is all about helping young athletes to understand name, image, likeness, how to navigate the rules, how to set out beautiful, reliable, credible, successful brands that will serve them in their futures far beyond college. So last year, my brand had a book launch. We launched the first ever name, image, and likeness book called Athletes Making Moves: Secure the Future by Protecting Your Name, Image, and Likeness. And this year, at the end of July 29th and 30th, I am inviting you to join me for the first annual NIL Combine. Now, this is going to be epic. We are sending out invitations right now to amazing entrepreneurs around this nation who are involved in sports and business and different industries to help educate and serve these athletes so they can receive necessary substantive information to support them while they are recognizing what intellectual property they have, how to navigate these rules, why they need to have power players on their team, like their attorneys, like their financial representatives, but other things like, how do I market myself? How do I brand myself? And then how do I legally protect that brand, right? How do I understand what's in my contract and how to really advocate for myself? It's about to go down, y'all. And I'm super, super, super excited to announce this with you today and invite you to be the first people to register for the NIL Combine. This is our first annual event under the Athletes Making Moves umbrella. And we're going to keep this thing going every year so that athletes and business owners in this nation can receive information that other people are too afraid to give them. So you can go to athletesmakingmoves.com/NIL Combine right now to register. Get your ticket. You don't want to be left out. This is going to be epic, and I'm super excited about it. So I hope that this has hit a nerve for somebody. Somebody today on accountability. We all know that life throws curveballs, and it is important that we have people in our corners who see us kind of falling off sometime or trying to, figuring out like, hey, sis, what's going on with you? Or bro, like, I haven't seen you do X, Y, and Z. Is everything okay? Because when we have those people in our camp, it helps us to remain accountable. It helps us to look inward to determine, all right, is something really going on here that is destroying my ability to be accountable to self? And if so, then I need to go and seek support from someone else so that I can make sure that my accountability continues, because my success is important to me. Right? Whatever you're doing, we don't just do it to do it. We don't just dwindle in things to do it. We are doing what we do because we love it. We have a purpose of doing it. We have a purpose of service, and we want to continue in our craft so that it can take care of us in our future. So I'm super excited because, we've always heard about the Combine in terms of football and how it brings multiple, athletes together to be seen on their athleticism. But what about having a combine where there are entrepreneurs in all types of industries who are extremely, smart and intelligent and at the top of their level, who are willing to give back to this community, to serve them so deeply in a way that never expires, right? Knowledge never expires, but your ability to run or catch a play, that might, right? You're not going to always be able to move the way that you are right now, but knowledge never expires. And it's something that is also generational. Like you can leave that knowledge as a legacy because it doesn't expire. What you learn, you can pass on to the next generation, from generation to generation. So I want you guys to join me for the NIL Combine. The dates are July 29 and 30th. It is a 2-day event. It is a 2-day intensive event where we're going to dial in on name, image, and likeness, and we're really going to hone in on multiple aspects of business to help you succeed right now where you are, but so that it also serves you long-term in your future. Get your tickets now at athletesmakingmoves.com/NIL Combine. Guys, I'm Sivonnia DeBarros, protector of athletes, and always it is my pleasure to educate you, support you, and motivate you to your next level. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Ciao.
Thanks for joining us this week on What Are You Sporting About podcast. Make sure to visit our website, prosportlawyer.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever your favorite platform is, so you'll never never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or iHeartRadio. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like the show, you might want to check out our book, What Are You Sporting About? Attorney Sivonnia DeBarros is available for private consulting at sldebarros.com. And remember, we're here to educate, support, and guide you in your journey to success because we're all sporting about something.